Y'all gonna go chatting a little bit, or?
Oh, Rod's down from Iowa. We're all going to go celebrate his.
Hey folks, welcome to the final episode, number 5, Toot and the Meyers. This was a 3-day weekend for myself. The first day I was at a swap meet. Second day we spent a full day with Mr. Meyers. Third day came back and spent a half a day with him. I was beat. Tommy was beat. Neither one of us had any energy left. We were just both exhausted. The first day that we talked, the wind started picking up enough to where we wasn't able to fly as well, and even after the later it got, the winds picked up to where it made things hard for us with the audio. The last day, the winds were so gusty and so bad, they were banging the big metal doors on the T-hanger, and it just made it, we lost so much good audio and so many good stories. We were able to salvage some of it. There again, we apologize for our lack of knowledge for the new equipment, but we hope we've got all that rectified. So please try to enjoy what we were trying to salvage out of the last day, episode 5.
Let me show you this. We talked about this last night. So this man here, there's Grover Clevland Loening, first aeronautical engineer in the world.
Really?
Number 1 degree. There I am with a Loening amphibian down in Florida when
There
he
it
wanted.
is.
I took down there for the 5th time, and I just flew that model for him. So these stories I have. Here's a picture of the model sitting on his beach out by his house in Key Biscayne Island in Florida. And see the wire wheels on this thing?
That's the one your pops built there.
Yes. This is a 4-time winning national champion airplane.
I do know that airplane. I do know that airplane.
So let me tell you the story. You may have it on the air. I'm down visiting Grover Loening with this model airplane. I flew it in the King Orange Internationals. I won a first place in free flight scale and won a first place in scale. Another contest in scale, all at the King Orange. And I'm sitting there, see it says 2S-13, remember I told you about Limburg? So I asked Mr. Loening, I said, and I'm a 16-year-old cocky little guy, I'm asking questions. And I said, Mr. Loening, the Loening amphibian was so great, well, what happened to the Loening aircraft factory? Okay, smart kid. And Mr. Loening said to me, he says, Tommy, there was more money in consulting engineering, and so I sold out to a young whippersnapper because I was being so cocky. I sold out to a young whippersnapper by the name of Grumman.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
and he tells me that knocked me in the dirt. And so I said, so the Grumman duck is the afterrunner of the Loening amphibian? He said, exactly.
Yeah.
And you see the Grumman duck sitting on aircraft carriers where they shot them off catapults.
Yeah.
And there happens to be a flying Grumman duck at Oshkosh Station. But I want you to look at the scale of that airplane.
Well, that's the amazing thing is the amount of scale you've got in a free flight. It'd be hard to let that go after all that work.
Now, look back here at the rudder. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to teach you something that you don't know. You may not know.
I'll guarantee you.
I'm going to teach you something. I'm going to teach you something. I got to get a piece of wire here. Just hang on. You're not in a hurry, are you?
No, sir.
I'm the one that's in a hurry. I'm going to be gone here in an hour. But anyway, I'm going to just show you something. That airplane had what they called a pendulum rudder. And it was a European design. And my dad says, we're going to put a poor man's autopilot in this airplane. Okay? But you have to pretend like this is a straight piece of wire, okay?
All right.
If it was a piece of piano wire or something like that, it would be straight. All right, now that airplane has a piano wire that runs all the way through the fuselage.
Okay.
Okay, up in the front, it bends 90 degrees, and there's a piece of wood goes across this, and this wire goes through a brass bushing.
Okay.
So it's got a bearing surface.
Okay.
Okay. Down at the bottom of this wire, there's a fishing weight. So just imagine a round little fishing weight hanging there. Okay. And now, as this goes back to the back of the airplane, it's a straight wire. Just pretend it's a straight wire.
Following you?
Okay. Back here, this wire is kicked up like that. Okay. You see a wire kicked up like that? And then there's a box inside the rudder. This wire goes inside the box of the rudder. Now this is inside the rudder. This never moves really,
Right.
but for simplicity, as the airplane rolls to the left, this weight follows the ground.
Right. Like a plumb bob.
Watch what's happening to the rudder.
Right.
It gives it right rudder.
Yeah.
When it goes the other way, it gives it left rudder.
Yeah.
So as the airplane rolls to the left, it gets top rudder and it wants to roll back straight.
Right.
There's nothing on the ailerons. Being as a fact, that's the way this was. This airplane would fly off from me. And I absolutely lost it in Florida because of that. I went downwind and it went upwind. Because it would turn like that and it would come back to the right, and then it would turn this way and go back to the right. And then if it got going downwind, well then it would go downwind in the glide. But with power, it would fly to the left.
Okay.
And that rudder was
That's genius, man.
that
Genius.
airplane has what they call a pendulum rudder in it. And it was so amazing. Now it wasn't kicked up that high.
Okay.
It was only kicked up just a little bit to give it a little
Just to
top
give
rudder.
you- Right, yeah.
And that weight down there naturally always hangs straight down. But you know, you can play and see if it's going this way, but it never moves.
Right.
The airplane moves around it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that airplane had a pendulum rudder. And my dad's got,
That's slick, man.
my dad has a little Toot at home that has a pendulum rudder, pendulum elevator, and pendulum ailerons. It's hanging up in my living room.
Who invented that? Was that something that?
My dad didn't invent it. It's something that came from the European modelers.
Okay.
And he grabbed it out of a book somewhere.
Okay.
But nobody in the free flight world here in the United States
Well, I
used
knew
it but
about
us.
it, yeah.
We kicked butt with that thing. I'm telling you, that airplane flew so good. And I'll tell you one more thing here. We entered it in the 1960 Nationals in Dallas, Texas. In free flight scale, you have the airplane judged. If I'm not saying this incorrect, I think I got 97 points out of 100 for scale. I flew against Burt Rutan. You know who Burt Rutan is?
Yeah, I'm a fan. Big fan.
Burt Rutan, he designed the Voyager that flew around the world.
And a lot of other things.
And a lot of other things. All the very easies and quickies and all that stuff.
I got a question about him in a minute. I want to ask you about.
I flew against Burt Rutan. He flew a little Cub. Free flight scale. I don't know remember what the Cub was. But anyway, he got takeoff points. I did. I let that Loening go on the ground. It went over and it started skipping sideways. And you get 4 chances to make one official flight of 40 seconds.
Okay.
I went over, grabbed it, stopped it, and let it go again. 2 chances. And it wouldn't get to skipping. you know, and I'd watch it. If the wind was blowing this way, you know, I'd turn it a little bit this way so the torque would pull it into the wind. 2 chances. Dad says, don't throw it again. Just hand launch it. And I went out there, threw that thing, and it went up like this. 3 chances. We went back to our car. It broke the Loening up a little bit, just the wings, little parts of the wings, and we fixed everything. And my dad always told the story to everybody he knew. He said, I gave my son one of them father and son talks. He says, you only have one more chance, son. We can go home. So I'd suggest you go out there and run with that airplane so that you can feel it lift out of your hand. And you let that thing, and you run it like you've never run before. You let that thing fly out of your hand. Do not chunk it.
Yeah.
I want you to just lay that airplane in the air as you're running. Of course, at 16 years old, I could get a pretty good head of steam running. Put myself up for flight again. I'm scared to death. I only have one more chance. I go running with it, and I almost couldn't let it go. I'm running, and I finally just laid it in the air. It settled a little bit, and it picked up that left turn, and away it went. Dallas Naval Air Station, 1960. And I chased it all the way over, crossed over into the radio control area, and it landed over there in the radio control area. It was pretty far away from the free flight. And some of the judges over the radio control said, if you need approval for that landing that airplane made, we will go over and tell those judges. Well, they judges over there, model airplane, free flight part wouldn't have any part of it. I only got flight points. And I beat Burt Rutan 107 to 106 points something. I beat him by 3/10 of a point. Burt Rutan. So people say, yeah, he was successful. What happened to you?
What's success?
Well, I'm good friends, not with Burt Rutan, but with Dick. Dick Rutan is the one that flew the Voyager. He and I are great friends. And I don't want to tell you what, right, while we're on the air, some of the stuff. But anyway, you know, the Dick Rutan tore the wingtip off the airplane on takeoff. With him and Gina Yeager flew the Voyager around the world.
Well, folks, there you have it. That is the end, the wrap, episode 5. It's been like 2.5 or 3 days of editing, and I am tired. Trying to fight with all this bad audio, it just makes me cringe, the stuff that we lost. And I do need to go back out and revisit Tommy, because he has a small museum at his home. I want to go and get some video and pictures of some things that he's got over there and get some more stories out of him. And I'm going to take a different approach when we go back out. I want to thank Tommy, Meyers family, Ryan Weaver, and everybody else that allowed us to have them to be a part of this. If you have anybody in mind that is full of a bunch of good stories, a good storyteller, somebody, you know, ex-military or a warrior, or anybody with good stories, reach out to us and let us know who they are. We'll call and talk to them and see if they want to participate in something like this. Our whole point of doing this is not for self-gain. It's strictly to get the stories out there before people like Tommy, you know, are not around anymore. Because when this man passes away, so do the stories that he holds in his head. Well, y'all be good. Got to know Joe Hobbies here in Spring, Texas. Go on over and like and subscribe to our channel. It sure will help, and we'd love to have you part of our RC family. Y'all be good.
Servo in the back. I can sit and do this one over here.
Yeah.
And a little conto for
Call it pulse. They call it pulse. I have one too.
Yeah.
Kick, left rudder, right rudder, right.
Well,
Yeah, I even go back further than that. Like with a rubber band escapers.
Yes,
Two for right, one for left.
yeah, that happened. Right. What was the name of the brothers that invented that? Remember their names? two of them, I think they were twins.